Hey everyone, welcome to the D League Podcast 2024, episode 4. I am here with my esteemed guest, two-time guest now, right, Ben?
Two-time guest. Two-time
Two-time
guest. Let me just
guest,
say, Austin, it's a real pleasure. Thank you for having me on your program.
of course. That's the least I could do. Ben Freeze, everyone. We're on episode 4, but this is just past week 1, so we have officially experienced an entire Sunday, actually Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of football. It doesn't get much better than that. So let's just get right into it. Go Clones. I think we can all agree. Go Clones. Extend Prom. Never a doubt. Yeah. What do you what do you think about?
So earlier today I was actually looking at the schedule for the rest of the year, and I'm a little terrified because I see 9 additional wins and 1 toss-up against Utah.
So you're thinking we get our first 10-win season ever?
Correct, and I think we get it in the regular season. I think we go 11-1. We lose to Utah, and then 2 weeks later we beat them by a margin of something like 55-8 in the Big 12 championship game in Dallas, Texas.
I have a question. Is Cam Rising Utah or Houston?
Cam Rising is Utah.
Okay.
They're like by far the best team in the Big 12 outside of Iowa State.
I have seen rumors and rumblings that Cam Rising is severely injured and might be limited, but we don't play him until like 3 months from now. But
that is true. I think it's week 11. And then we played them in Kansas State back-to-back. It's kind of bullshit, actually.
Our 2 toughest matchups are going to be back-to-back. Got it. Yeah, you asked me what do you think the record will be. I was thinking 9 and then win the bowl game, but 10 is certainly in play. I just have too many heartbreaking losses to Kansas State on my mind that I can't shake it, even though Abasama is still scoring on them.
That is for sure fair. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that we go 10-2 and we lose to Arkansas State. That is also entirely something we at least need to consider in the models.
Yeah. Off a bye, everyone's juiced up, ready to go. It's a home game. Just come out flat. 3 runs in a row for -8 yards and punt, and then we're off to the races.
Bam. I don't know where you were sitting in that first half of that game. I was like really in my negative feelings. It was like nobody was tweeting through it like I was. I had to delete some regrettable tweets.
I didn't tweet anything. I was spewing my filth into the Discord, and I was over at T-Shan's place. It was me, Zachar, and Tyler, and our wives, of course, and our children. And T-Shan would have to catch up on the D-League chat after every like 30, 40 minutes because Zachar and I had just been spewing bullshit into it. Yeah, I was not happy either. That was a really bad half. I thought it was just same old Campbell versus Iowa bullshit, but we persevere.
I don't know how many
you and I did it.
We literally, you and I brought that together. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many times Heacock has to prove to me that they're just not going to allow any second half points, but like they just don't do that. So I need to stop worrying about it. I'm sure that I'll stop stressing about Iowa State football at some point in my life.
I was talking to I think you know Lucas Ledger.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he's an eternal Iowa State optimist, and I'm a negative person usually. And he and I were texting after the game. He's like, there's something about us that balance each other out. And I was like, yeah, like you and everyone else who's eternally optimist are accepting mediocrity and bullshit, but then you can laugh at me when we pull it out. And then I and Freeze will not accept anything less than excellence, but we come out looking like morons when we come back from these big first half deficits. So it's yin and yang. We fit perfectly together.
It's our sacrifice. Are you familiar with like the video meme from the Star Wars TV show where the guy goes on a monologue about like what he sacrifices for victory?
No.
Like, okay, well, that joke's super not funny anymore. But basically, he's like, I've given up the hope of ever seeing the sun, the warm sunshine on my face. That's us. And we do it for the fanhood.
Well, he texted.
Merritt's in the pod.
Merritt's saying that she could have been the example for eternal optimism, but instead I picked Lucas. Somebody said memes too.
I love that.
I don't know who that is, Mauricio. So next up, Mauricio Ponchetto.
Good news. Mauricio Pochettino is going to save the U.S. men's national team. We're probably going to win the World Cup now. Things are sick. Things are moving forward. If for the 7 people that listen to this podcast that give a shit about the U.S. men's national team,
when would be the World Cup? Next year? 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
It's going to be 26. Yeah, 2026. It sounds like they've been like basically negotiating this contract with this guy for like 4 months. Not 4 months, 2 months maybe. And it sounds like it's basically because they're like, no, we're like going to make it impossible for you to leave this team until the World Cup is over. You will owe us tens of millions of dollars if you leave before that. So they finally
got it.
So he's like a club coach. So he's coached at Tottenham.
Oh, this is a coach.
It's a coach, yeah, the manager. So he coached at Tottenham. He coached at Paris Saint-Germain.
Go Spurs.
Chelsea. Yeah, like you're a Spurs fan. You're a big Spurs fan. You don't remember our guy?
No, I forgot I remember what we do.
But yeah, it's cool. So it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of it would be like if some Eastern European country hired like Phil Jackson to lead their like pro team in like 1999.
Holy shit. Okay.
That's honestly probably hyperbole because Pochettino's never fucking won anything. But imagine something like that.
But Tottenham is in the Premier League forever, right? Like, so he's coached against the top.
Yes, stuff, right? He's a top flight, high level manager, which is what they wanted, and they're paying him $6 million a year, which is like absurd for an international coach. I think we were paying the old guy like 1.5.
Oh wow! So it's no more fucking around.
Basically,
let's get past the first game of the entire.
Yes. U.S. Soccer literally went to the hedge fund guy, Ken Griffin, and was like, can you pay our soccer coach? And he was like, I would love to. Yes. That's how we paid.
Hedge fund guy, $6 million for him is like my yacht.
Yeah, not a big deal for him at all.
Yeah. Okay. That's big news. In other big news, I become a regular at the bar I go to on Wednesdays. So by that I mean I go to the bar and I do podcast stuff, and then I go play cards, Flesh and Blood. And at this point now, every single time I go there, not just sometimes, but every time, I get a free old fashioned on the house. So 2 old fashions, 1's free. 3 old fashions, 1, sometimes 2 is free.
I love that. What's the bar? Drop that.
It's called the How off Hiawatha. They have absolutely phenomenal fried chicken. So you can get a whole bird, half bird. The chicken sandwich kicks ass. The wings are fucking phenomenal. They're broasted. Everything else on the menu is like not that great, but the chicken, if you stick to the chicken, it's phenomenal. And their old fashioned kicks ass. It's really good.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting behind that, our guy Josh Canuse is in the chat, and he told me that I get to share with the world that he had a human child.
Speaking of getting behind that,
congrats to Josh.
This child was born starting doggy. That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Josh has had sex exactly Josh. 2 times in his life, and he has 3 kids. Insane.
Is it a boy or a girl? What do we know? I didn't see any announcement from Alyssa.
Nothing on the gram from Alyssa Dog.
No. That must not be a big deal.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a boy, I think. Josh sent me a picture of him watching football with his small child, probably cursing at some player that let him down in the D League.
That's good. Just in the hospital watching Red Zone.
That was literally the picture that was sent to me. Like this child was laying on his chest. Josh was like laying back, and he just had a little phone off to his side for both of them.
When Rosemary was born, I remember talking to Canuse early on, and he was like, yeah, Alyssa would not let me watch any football. Like, so this year, I'm going to fucking watch football. I'm going to watch as much football as I want.
Josh,
good on you, man.
And for watching football.
Boy, Josh Canuse Jr. Congratulations, my man. That kid is born a champion. You already have a title.
Is that how that works?
I think so.
Are jerseys like a monarchy? Like you just hand your jersey
Rosemary
down?
will inherit my 2012 Mirthmobile jersey.
Even though there's an asterisk next to it because that was like a 7-man league?
It's a 16-man league, buddy.
Interesting. Only one league, though?
I actually don't know if that's better or worse than a 12-man.
you
Probably
won
worse.
You won with your 3 deep running back?
Exactly, yeah.
Winning the
Randall Cobb, like wide receiver 1. Now we're talking.
Sick. That's sick.
All right, on to the NFL. What we're all here for. I have some fun stats for you about the Chiefs. 1. Mahomes is the all-time passing leader now for the Chiefs. He did it in 97 games. That's 7 years. The all-time leader previously was Len Dawson, and he did it in 190-plus games. So less than half the games, and Mahomes has already destroyed that. The other thing was we talk a little bit about, like, especially in fantasy, people just kind of giving up titles. Like Canuse gave Jay Long a title for free last year. I gave up a title one year. Two Canuse because I made a bad trade.
Sure.
We can actually extend that now to real NFL, where the Bills a couple of years ago, 7 years ago actually, traded down with the Chiefs, and that allowed them to get another pick and then Mahomes. And we all know how good Mahomes is, I hope.
That's Patrick Mahomes Jr., yeah?
Indeed.
The quarterback.
They traded down last year, or this year's draft, and allowed the Chiefs to draft Xavier Worthy, who had 2 touchdowns on 3 touches. Great work. Hollywood Brown was a first-round pick from the Ravens, traded then to the Cardinals, and now is on the Chiefs for a super cheap deal. I'm sure that won't end up biting them in the ass. And then the 49ers have traded down to the Chiefs, and their current starting left tackle, the most important piece of your offensive line, is a result of the 49ers trade. So all of these inter-division rivals are just ensuring that the Chiefs continue to win the AFC and continue to get to the Super Bowl. This is the definition of just shitting in your own bed or pissing where you sleep, whatever you want to call it. It's really bad.
Any concerns on your end, though, that winning the AFC is just kind of a race to second? Is that a concern at all at this point?
Not really. I am a Vikings fan first and foremost, so if the Chiefs want to come up to Sam fucking Darnold and get waxed, by all means do it. You know? Sam's not going to blink. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I'm kind of a Patrick Mahomes fan, I guess I would say, and I'm a little worried that people are not going to like him or respect him after Sam Darnold, the Minnesota Vikings, win the Super Bowl this year.
True.
One performance.
Well, the mainstream media will make their excuses about Mahomes, and they won't give credit to the Darnold, the geek bus, the God Emperor quarterback of the United States. They'll just pretend that it was defense or some other bullshit that carried him. We all know what's going to happen. We saw it against the Giants. We know.
Yep. I actually saved the GIF of the guy like glazing donuts this past weekend, and I plan to use that for when Sam Darnold completes no-look passes, throws for, I think he went for like 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick.
Holy shit!
Come on, guys.
Can you imagine running for 200 yards?
Chris Collinsworth would lose his fucking mind.
Oh, my God. Actually, that reminds me. Did you – when Mahomes threw a pass and it got deflected up in the air and then he caught it, Collinsworth made absolutely no mention at all of the defensive play that was made to deflect that pass, and was only how amazing Mahomes was for catching his own ball that was deflected directly at him.
This here's a once-in-a-lifetime guy. You know, we can't say enough about him. We love everything he does.
Oh, of course. Shit, I had something on the topic of the Geek Bus. Well, I can't remember it now. We'll get back there in a minute.
What the fuck's the Geek Bus?
Geek Bus is a acronym for God Emperor Quarterback of the United States. And it came out around the time that Sam Darnold was traded from the Jets to the Panthers. And it was basically just a bunch of Reddit people that were like talking as if they were Trump, and it was just like, stop critical Gase theory for Adam Gase. It was like all this really, really funny shit that they've there's a subreddit. It's called R the Darnold instead of the Donald, and you can just go and they have just unbelievably funny shit. And it's gone up and down, right? Because sometimes he's not a starter, but sometimes he fucking is. And then the whole might of the subreddit is behind him, and really, really funny shit comes out of it.
I'm gonna become a Reddit guy.
Yeah, you need to get on the R the Darnold. But yeah, critical Gase theory is one of my favorite things of all time. All right, so on to other stuff. If you think your quarterbacks / wide receivers suck dick, they might, because we are currently at the lowest passing touchdown total and the lowest passing yardage since 2010. 14 years, folks. We're been trending this way for a long time. This happened last year. It happened the year before. Everything is just tanking because people don't play preseason at all. There's one less preseason game. Everyone just dicks around and then uses weeks 1 through 4 as like warm up.
Actual preseason.
Yeah, I think there was one quarterback that threw for over 300 yards. That was Tua. Everyone else was 200 or less, 200 something or less. So it's bad. If you're panicking about your wide receivers, don't worry about it. They'll be fine later.
Or they
except
won't.
for Caleb Williams, which we can talk about now. He's a bust, 100%.
Panic button.
100%.
I honestly, like, I very rarely think of Mark Vormesel. Honestly, like, I never think of him. Don Sterling. Don Draper.
Wow, you're mixing them all. Yeah.
I don't think of
Don
you
Draper,
at all.
don't forget. Yep.
Never think of Mark. He's a huge piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
But watching the dumpster fire that was the Chicago Bears offense, literally when the opposing head coach afterwards says, honestly, we probably could have just punted on 1st and 10 and won the game. And he's right. They fucking would have.
100%. Do not give the ball to Will Levis and you win that game. That's how bad Will Levis is. That's also how bad Caleb Williams is.
Caleb Williams is bad. Honestly, like, hand up, I got into the Rome Odunze hype after watching a little bit too much Hard Knocks. I just saw him. He looked very fast on TV on those ground angle cameras. And I regret it, but not near as much as Mark Vormesel is going to regret mortgaging the franchise for Caleb Bust Williams.
Oh, sure. This will be what? They're going to be in 2 or 3 years. They're going to be picking another quarterback.
Yeah.
Top 5.
Yep. And it's totally possible too that Justin Fields has like a Baker Mayfield renaissance in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Very much a possibility.
With a staff that doesn't suck ass like Chicago always has and always will.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Is it too early to have the conversation on is Caleb Williams or Deshaun Watson a better person? Is it too early to have that conversation, or should we can wait? We can wait.
Let's wait another week at least, and then let's let the undecided voters decide.
I like it.
Well, yeah. So the whole weapons thing, right? They got Rome Odunze, a rookie, injured. They have DJ Moore, who he's been a number one, but a number one as in there's nobody else on the entire offense. And then there's Keenan Allen, who is now 35 and fat and old and slow and dropped a touchdown and is now injured based on, I guess, playing football. So there are no weapons. DeAndre Swift, I don't know. There's been an exception with DeAndre Swift. He's never been good. He's been fast. He's never been a good player. And now people drafted him, and you saw immediately, oh, this guy, he doesn't know how to read a hole. He falls down at the first contact. He is fast, but there are no running lanes because it's the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams sucks ass. Like, it's over. Vikings going to get – oh, and Jordan Love's injured, so Vikings going to win the NFC North. We all know that. And then Caleb and the Bears are going to be picking first in, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
They might go Cardinals route and just get a quarterback next year, get Quinn Ewers or something.
Honestly, I don't think that's – maybe they should go find Josh Rosen.
Actually, yeah.
Maybe that's like the answer to the prophecy is like closing the Cardinals loop, and you're good.
That might be the thing.
We would be remiss if we didn't offer T's and P's to the Packer fans out there.
Right. Yes.
Of course,
we don't root for
by
injuries.
more than the final score. They lost that game by more than, what was it, like 3 points?
Yeah.
They lost the game by more than that. They lost their quarterback, who might be trash. Jaden Reed, that's a person that plays in the NFL. He went off for 31 points this past week. I think that Alex Benda should apologize for that. I doubt that he was started in a lot of leagues, but he made it in the flex lineup in Herman German.
Yeah, it turns out when you take a slant and then there's nobody within 70 yards of you, it's pretty easy to score a lot of touchdowns. So a lot of people are going to be box score scouting and go, Jaden Reed, holy shit, this guy's amazing. Well, it turns out that exactly what we knew last year, that the Philadelphia Eagles defense blows ass.
Fraudulent.
Still blows ass, and still managed to beat the Packers with their second coming of Jesus Christ, Jordan Love. Except for the last play. Sorry. He couldn't, chuck a Hail Mary because he's hobbled. Yeah, I guess go buy Jaden Reed for your entire everybody drafted him, but yeah, go trade, fucking Saquon Barkley for Jaden Reed because you're a moron. Go ahead and do it. Anyways, Vikings Soupy, Daniel Jones somehow still employed. Yeah, I think the greatest trick the devil pulled was the Vikings losing in a playoffs to Daniel Jones and forcing the Giants to give him a fucking $100 million contract.
Imagine
Holy
playing
shit,
chess
man.
instead of checkers like the Minnesota Vikings. Imagine that. Just crippling an NFC team for a decade.
God, they kept Daniel Jones and not Saquon Barkley. After drafting Barkley second overall, that franchise is doomed for eternity. That's so bad.
Did you watch any of the Hard Knocks offseason thing with the Giants?
No, I didn't even. There's 2 Hard Knocks? What?
So they did a Hard Knocks offseason that is the New York Giants front office, basically, like wheeling and dealing leading up to the draft, going through free agency. It's kind of interesting. But so I for what I do for work is I basically run the design and construction of corporate office spaces. So I like a nice space. The Vikings have the best facility in the NFL. The Bears on Hard Knocks you saw this year, they just have a brand new facility. It's fucking beautiful. It looks like the Giants GM's office is literally the back room of a 7-Eleven. And that is how it operates. It's disgusting. They should be ashamed of themselves. They have a shitty stadium. They have a shitty state that they don't actually play their football in.
Wait, is that where the clip of some whatever the GM's name being if he goes to the Eagles, I'm gonna lose sleep or something?
Yes. He's
God.
He talks himself into letting Saquon go, and then he's checking his phone, waiting for the girl to text him back. I wonder where he's going. You know where he's going.
Oh God. That reminds me. Fucking Langton pick 1 ahead of me, took Barkley, and now I have to play Langton after he kept 2 people in his lineup that didn't play. Guess who figured out how to set a lineup this week?
Dusty? Is he still in the league?
Ryan Langton. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch your joke. That was obvious, and I didn't get it. I apologize.
I don't get any free buys unlike the rest of my Guggenheim league mates.
I get that. I played Jaden Reed this week, brother. I feel you.
True. All right, yeah. Daniel Jones somehow still employed. He's terrible. I think my Daniel Jones interceptions bet is in the lead right now. He threw 2, right? I don't know of any other quarterbacks that threw 2.
Yeah, he did, including a pick 6, which should count for extra, honestly.
That should count as 4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
On a screen pass, too. How the fuck do you mess that up?
I have a funny story. So we're not supposed to talk about other leagues, but I run the podcast now. And I have a IDP Dynasty League, and I had Blake Cashman and Andrew Van Ginkel. So one was on the Miami Dolphins, one was on the Houston Texans. I also had Josh Metellus, who's on the Vikings. I also had Ivan Pace, who's on the Vikings. All of them got traded, so now all of them are on the Vikings.
So you're heavy bullish on the Minnesota Viking defense.
I am now somehow. The only person I started was Van Ginkel because last year in Miami, when Jalen Phillips went out, Van Ginkel was fucking incredible. And what does he do? A sack, a pick six, 2 tackles for loss. Guy's a beast.
He's the best awesome. Defensive end built like a safety, maybe.
Yeah. He looks like Alexander Zaloni and just runs people over like a fucking DE. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah. When you were like in high school wondering where your girlfriend was, she was hanging out with Andrew Van Ginkel.
Yeah. And the funniest tweet I've ever seen was some random dude just tweeted, "She's sucking on my van till like Ginkle," and I cannot stop fucking laughing at that. Every single time I see Van Ginkel on the field, I think sucking on my van till like Ginkle.
That feels like it should be part of a tattoo in some way, shape, or form. What's your ass tat say? I don't want to tell you.
Sucking on my van till like Ginkle.
Speaking of Ginkles, how's that Zach or Guggenheim bet working out?
Oof, bad. So last week I made all of my predictions for who's going to win the league. I had Zacher as the Guggenheim champ. He went 0-1 and had a nice little chat. He had a nice little chat. He said, another season-winning move by A. Bamrick when I dropped Tyler Bass for Jake Bates. Well, he was actually kind of right. I lost 2 points on that kicker swap, but Zacher's 0-1. So I have a couple of stats for you. If you're 0-2, your chances of making the playoffs are around 30%. If you're 0-3, your chances of making the playoffs are like 5%.
I believe
Zacher is currently not in that realm, but he is continuously, including this week, one of the lowest projected scoring teams. So maybe chill.
Did you look at the teams, and I mean this with all due respect to Taylor Zacher, who I respect, I admire. He's a great person, great human being, right? Minnesota resident. We love everything about him. When you made these bets, did you look at the rosters blindly? You didn't know this was Zacher's team, right? You were unaware that he was affiliated with the management of his fantasy team when you made that bet.
I do know the names of everyone who owns the teams that I made predictions on.
Okay. Can we unpack that? What, I guess, like if you were to bet on the New York Giants to win the Soupy, what are we like? Are you thinking like, I like the uniforms that Zacher has? Like what?
Yes. So I would say 90% of why I picked Zacher is because I think the Corsairs jersey is very cool. And I would like to see that.
Cool team name too.
Yes.
Again,
second was that because he was the lowest projected scorer of the entire league week 1, I thought that this would be a zig while sleeper zagged. Because we all know that we know nothing.
That's right? A fact for sure. We're all bad.
How many people drafted Mark Andrews and then Isaiah Likely had 30 points? Like, we don't know anything. So maybe I don't know anything, and if I don't know anything, Zacher does.
Sure. No, that sounds like the logic of a twisted, gambling addicted psychopath. I love that for you.
Exactly. He's due, in other words.
That I can get behind. You know who else is due? I'm due. Like,
actually, yeah, that's right.
We just us guys that are due have to stick together. We'll edit it out, Zacher. We're gonna edit this part out.
Yeah, you're great. You're gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. You are projected to win against the 1-0 Tyler Cum. Anything can happen.
Tyler what? I'm sorry?
Tyler Cum. I'm playing Tyler Cum.
What an unfortunate name.
I know. All right, the rest of my projections. Stumbo and Herman German is 1-0. Crispin is 1-0 in Blipto. Peters Cuervo. I didn't write down the name of whoever I picked?
Yeah, who did you pick?
I think it was Pentek. Newhall Skelt of Dell email fame. He's 1-0. Josh Renner 0-1. And then J-Long 1-0.
J-Long feels chalky.
He could
He had a lot of swagger at the draft this year. I didn't like it. It was totally unappealing, but
he is currently projected to lose to Jameson, but Jameson has Devon Achane and he might not play. And J-Long is starting Austin Eckler. There's no way that's a good idea.
That's the same Jameson. That's Jameson Bamrick that did not earn his way into President's League and brought Corey Anderson with him, right?
Correct. It was a winning record, not points scored.
Made
bullshit.
Up. Yeah.
That's how everyone in Presidents really got their start, was record, not points for.
Yeah. No, that's unfortunate. I hate that.
Right. You hate to see it, but then it becomes all the sweeter when we overcome it and Guggenheim becomes the next Presidents. Because if you were to win, you would pick Guggenheim, right?
Like to pick.
You would move up to Guggenheim.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right, trades, there were none. Isaiah Likely was the only real waiver target. I mean, there was some people. I actually missed one that Teed spent $40 on. Who was this? Teed spent $40 on DeMarcus Robinson, a player that nobody else bid on. Now that Puka is out. I always thought it was going to be Jordan Whittington. Was it the rookie who was the one who was going to take place? But Teed knows something I don't. But other than that, Isaiah Likely was anywhere from like 10-ish to 15, and then in Guggenheim he went for 71 to Denton. I bid 50.
Wow.
Yep, I bid 51 and Denton still got him. And then Brady Carvenass grabbed Isaiah Likely for $80.
Holy shit.
Whoo! I always preach like you don't want to overreact, right? You don't want to overreact to week one, but
it sounds like they
should also dump all of your fab on a tight end.
Yep, I love that for them personally. Especially, I mean, are they unaware that Charlie Kohler, the greatest tight end of all time, is also on that roster?
So they might not know that if they weren't ball watchers like we are, but I saw Charlie Kohler out there multiple times.
He was out a bunch. Mark Andrews is legitimately tight end 3.
Yeah, he's washed. He's fat and gross and ugly and blah blah blah. Charlie Kohler is the new hotness. Isaiah Likely is a flash in the pan.
He's the zig when people are zagging.
Exactly. Yeah. He's the Zacher to your who's number 1 in our league. He's the Zacher to your Tyler Cum. There we go.
Tyler what? I beg your pardon.
Tyler Cum. Kumm. 25 for some reason.
Very, very odd.
Tyler Cum 25 times. That was it. I mean, everybody had Jordan Mason already, which I was impressed by. There was no Jordan Mason pickups because the CMC manager usually had him. The exception being me in Guggenheim.
What's
up?
That is electric. What was Alan Lazard looking like in Guggenheim? Was he drafted or?
I don't think Lazard was drafted. No, he was just. Oh, he's on free agency right now.
I honestly, I would say, yeah, probably.
Okay, so who should I drop? J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Jerome Ford, Tank Bigsby, Brian Thomas, Terry McLaurin. Probably Cam Akers.
Probably Cam Akers.
All right, let's just right
now. Tyler Cavanda, who was basically Skelt's famous email that was basically just like a cyberbullying of Tyler Cavanda. The first really Herman German thing happened, and again, I'm to blame here as well. But we let Alan Lazard get picked up for $7, which feels like a bit of a steal, considering that Aaron Rodgers is going to throw him the ball a fuck ton. But it sounds like in Guggenheim, nobody even picked him up. So
yeah, well, I think I think you're right because he did get brought over strictly by Rodgers.
They literally put him on. They like put him on the non-active healthy list last year while Rodgers was out.
Yeah.
Aaron was like, "You're going to keep him on the shelf till I come back," and then
Save
they
my
threw
boy.
him the ball like 40 times yesterday.
Well, I think people were like, if with Mike Williams, whatever that is gonna do, but they were wrong. It's Lazard and Garrett Wilson. So
It is.
yeah, we'll see. He had 2 touchdowns. I mean, one of them was Tyrod Taylor, so it wasn't all Rodgers, but is this a bit for the pod? No, it's not a bit for the pod. Jameson, guy who's never won a title.
Is he in the chat or is he texting?
I picked him up in Guggenheim, and now Jameson's talking shit.
That's tough.
God damn it, Jameson.
That's the Jameson that crowned himself into President's League along with
Exactly. Is this a bit for the pod? No, this is a bit for, I don't know, having my second title, unlike somebody I know.
Shoot. Corey Anderson. That's a lot of marketing.
Yes.
That's a deep cut.
That is.
You've been with us for a couple years. You'll understand that joke.
Do. Upcoming week, interesting matchups. I actually didn't take the time to look at any of these, so I don't care. Are there any in Herman German that you'd like to call out?
Honestly, I don't look at anybody else's game.
That's a good point.
I'm focused on me. I'm focused on my team. I'm focused on our preparation.
Yep.
Fuck everybody else, especially Tyler Cavanda for picking up my Alan Lazard for nothing. I'd say that the real interesting matchup this week is Iowa State against itself, trying to come down from that Iowa victory so that we don't lose to Arkansas State in our bye week next week.
I'm actually curious. Why does it seem like we always have a bye after Iowa?
I don't think that.
Why do we do that?
I don't think that's true. I think we're making.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened. I feel like we always have a game week 3.
Do we have buys before Iowa before? Like, I feel like we always have a super early bye.
I honestly don't think so. I think we've had like some weird, like we had the game against Iowa that got canceled, or not canceled. The game against South Dakota.
Yeah.
South Dakota State that got canceled. So that felt like a bye, but it was just worse than a bye. Honestly, like if we lose, I don't like having the bye there, but since we won on a last-second field goal, I think that we need it because I think if we played on Saturday, we would beat Arkansas State by like 8 points, and I would be so fucking mad about it. So it's really for the best.
All right. Do we have 2 buys? Or just one per season?
I think it's just the
College.
one. It's going to be like
even with the playoff. So you can just play like Iowa State when we go to the national title game. We'll just play 12 more games from now.
Well, so we've played 2, right? We have the bye. So we'll play 10 straight games, and then we'll get a bye for Army Navy week. And then we'll play in the conference or the conference title game. We'll win that. We'll get a bye since we'll be a top 4 seed in the college football playoff.
Okay.
And then it'll be a 3-game, onslaught to win a national title.
So how many people are just going to sit out? I mean, 3 games is a lot of games to potentially get injured and ruin your draft stock.
I'm a little worried about it for sure. Like you'd think that like since they're playing for a title, they might not play. Like it's going to be really interesting when Northern Illinois as the 12 seed fucking like beats LSU, or LSU's a bad example because they're not fucking touching the playoff. Right. If they beat like an Oklahoma State or something, like it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Because a lot of those guys might not go pro. They'll just want to
none of them
get a title or whatever.
Yeah, it's like this is the pinnacle of my life.
By the time they hit Georgia's like, fuck this. Like a month later, the draft is going on.
The Georgia guys are probably going to be pissed off because they have not had near enough time to like drink and drive because they've been playing. Like, so they may opt out too. Just go party.
Yeah, true. I thought we were gonna fucking party out here. Like this sucks.
The beers are here, but where are all the cars?
I had to get behind the wheel immediately.
Oh, that's not funny, but it is.
Kind of is, yeah. All right, yeah. No trades. I didn't see any trades. At least none have happened now. To general topics, gaming. Other than NCAA 25, whatever, have you been playing anything else?
No, and I think I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be vulnerable with you for a moment. So I found out the maximum number of seasons that you can have in a dynasty in NCAA 25.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's 30. 30 is the number.
And they're like, you have to start a whole new thing?
They don't say it. You just like you keep clicking next, like sim to next week, and it just won't. And then you get on Reddit and they're like, bad news, 30's the max. So
who did you do 30 years of Dynasty with?
So 25 of them were with the Tulane Mean Green.
Amazing.
I was with Tulane. I brought her into national prominence. We won a lot of titles there. And I coached a lot of great kids at Tulane, a lot of kids that wouldn't have had an opportunity otherwise. I'll tell you what, though, the temptation came calling when the Texas Longhorns offered me a lot of money.
Oh, wow.
So I coached them for 5 years. I won 5 titles there. I regretted every minute of it. I missed New Orleans. I missed the humidity.
You became the bad guy.
And I won about 15 more titles.
Back to Tulane.
Yeah. Varsity mode, of course. We're not trying to set any world records here.
Okay. That's an impressive resume, I would say.
Yeah. I just started another one with Iowa State, and I got through one season, and I was like, I think I might fucking hate Dynasty mode now. I might be Dynastied out.
I started my Dynasty with Iowa State, and in the second game against Iowa, Rocco Becht tore his ACL. I did end up winning because I'm a fucking beast.
Sure.
But then I had J.J. Cole for the rest of the season, and we made the playoffs, but we lost first week to Georgia, which, I mean, J.J. Cole's like a 70 overall, so
did you have a press conference after that loss to just like talk about the effort and talk about how it's not important to ever win a football game, literally ever? It's not the point of any of this.
Yeah, liking football is gay, so you just tell them to shut up. Yeah.
Sure. That checks out. So one thing about our program is we think that trying is fucking cringe, and we're not going to.
Yes. We adopt a League of Legends mentality where if you beat me, that's because you're a fucking loser and you try really hard. But if I win,
film room, you fucking nerd.
If I win, it's because of natural talent. It was easy. GG, next.
Let's go.
That's how we operate. We're the Colorado of Ames.
Yeah, absolutely. What are you playing any like really deeply nerdy shit?
For sure. Always. I've been playing Helldivers 2. So I
heard that game sucks now. No?
Don't fucking listen to no.
Should I buy it?
It's fucking awesome. It's like $30. Every other AA game is $70. No, it doesn't fucking suck. Everyone on Reddit is a big fucking baby. They're losers. The game is fucking incredible. I just played it yesterday. Like, all they're mad about is like, you nerfed my flamethrower. Do you know what nerf means?
Yeah,
I'm assuming you do. Yes. It's just people shitting and pissing themselves because the weapon they were using for the last 20 days isn't as good when something else is just as good or better. Like,
sure.
Adapt or die, right? That's NFL, right?
Yep.
So I've been playing a lot of that. They're dumping out a huge update September 17th, so you bet your ass I'll be on it. Game's fucking incredible. But in the same vein, I just got Space Marine 2. And
I hear a lot about that too.
Dude.
Is it great?
It's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
They both kind of fulfill the same niche of like interstellar space marines fighting aliens, but Helldivers is more Starship Troopers, where like you're just a grunt, you're not important at all. Space Marine, you are like a superhuman, mega mutant in giant power armor that cleaves through waves of heretics and monsters.
So you're like a religious fanatic in Space Marines, right? Like
for sure, yeah.
A little cult, yeah.
You worship the dead god emperor, but you also look fucking sick, and the game is really fun.
it's like being in a wet frat, but also killing animals or, people that don't believe the same thing that you do.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Cool.
The Space Marines are all about purging the galaxy of heretics, which basically means if you don't believe in the Emperor, you should die. But the Terminids are very bad. They consume the entire world and galaxy and everything in front of them. So the enemy of my enemy is,
potentially also your enemy.
Yeah, true. But both of them are awesome. The Space Marine, they're all co-op, which is important because I feel like for a long time co-op was not a thing. Like people were just like, you do MMOs or you do single player stuff. But both Helldivers is 4-player co-op. Space Marine is 3-player. You have like you're tight little squad and you do these operations. Like they're both really, really fun. They also look awesome. So if you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, they look really good. They play really tight. Go get them.
I feel like that's pretty important that they look good for sure.
Yeah.
NCAA blew me away with the graphics.
Right?
Those awesome cut scenes literally looks like you're watching like college football Saturday.
Yeah. Did you see the cut? There was a side-by-side of like NCAA 14 and then NCAA 25 of Iowa State. And it's like, here's the stadium. And then 2025 with the bold in and the Trice. What is that building in the back?
The Jacobson Center? Oh, the Soup Up End Zone Club.
Soup Up End Zone Club. It's just like, whoa, how far we've come.
And they do the siren for the beginning of the game.
And the cannon.
Yeah, it's legit. Sick. It's legit.
Yeah.
Shout out to EA Sports.
They did it. Although Road to Glory is kind of lame. It's fine, but it could be better, I would say. You remember in 2014 or 13 when it was like you had your own dorm room and people would write you? You had posters. They're like, hey, stop sucking shit. But then as you got better, they were like, I fucking love you.
I'll do anything for you.
Right.
I'll devote my entire life to you. You start dating cheerleaders. You get on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yep.
Because Sports Illustrated was still a thing.
Yep. Not bad.
These were good times.
All right. We talked about Josh Knuth's baby.
Yeah.
3 out of 2. That's shooting 150.
I think I can probably lead with this next thing. I think it's important.
I think so too. The country is divided as this. We should talk about Corey Anderson.
I can't. Corey Anderson is wandering.
Crooked Corey
is wandering the neighborhoods of Central Ohio with his Haitian friends. He's eating dogs. He's eating cats. He's eating all these people's pets. And he's sneaking into President's League with his good friend, Slimy Jameson. And they both refuse to fucking apologize. And I won't stand for it. Corey Anderson, you need to apologize. Slimy Jameson, you need to apologize.
Yep.
I'm not here for it anymore. I think enough is enough. I think the people of the D League are ready for hope and change. And
junked up Jameson and coked up Corey are just they're palling around. They're eating babies. They're eating pets, crabs. Who knows where almost my fish tank went? You think Jameson didn't have something to do with that? 2 beta fish went missing on Podcast Watch.
Do we think it's possible that Jameson killed the shrimp?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
That's pretty fucking despicable. That shrimp was really good at picking losers.
I saw it on TV, so it must be true. You saw my snail was on multiple podcast episodes. You saw him.
So now he's dead.
True. Yep. Now he's gone forever.
So
actually, I did find him upstairs once. That was kind of weird. I think my cat carried him upstairs.
Max is literally walking out here because this is a cause near and dear to his heart. He's lost some friends in Ohio.
Yep.
To Corey.
What's up, Max? Oh, hey, Max. Max is adorable.
He's pretty cute. I'll take you outside in a minute, bud.
There was 2 cats down here. I don't know where they went. Oh, let's see if I can get a good view of this. I'm promising I'm not showing you my dick. Can you see that?
You get a little cat situation?
Bro.
That's not good.
Oh, my God. My cat, Cricket, loves me, climbed up on here, or tried to, and then fell off, and then used my flesh to claw his way back up. And I could not fucking stop bleeding. There's blood all over the bottom of my chair. There was blood all over the carpet, just fucking gushing.
And this is the cat that came after Dave.
Yeah, there's two cats.
Correct.
Cabbage and Cricket.
Okay.
They're very sweet. They just I had to clip their nails and it fucking hurt. You learn and you live.
I feel for you. That's actually kind of miserable though. They have sharp fucking claws.
Yeah. Did we have any mailbag? Did anybody actually ask anything?
We did. Well, we already addressed it a little bit. Zach in Herman German was wondering if we think that Sam Darnold is good. I think that we do.
Oh, for sure. We're soupy.
Can
I get visibility to other leagues? Absolutely not. You already had visibility to a league you didn't deserve, so we will never grant that again. You're in purgatory.
Jay Long had a good one here. Are there any changes that require a lot more work and will not likely be noticed or appreciated by any of us? That would be good to implement.
That's funny. There is one that we have implemented already, and that is the highest point score that did not make playoffs is going to be the 6th seed. So Jameson will have to do that manually.
That is going to be annoying, and it's
I guarantee you, most of this league does not know that that's a thing, and they will be surprised when it happens.
Agreed, and I think it's going to be like dealt listserv level bitching at each other when the 6th seed finds out. When Zacher finds out I'm no longer in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
If I sneak in over Zacher because of points, oh baby, he's going to be mad. Jameson already had we voted on picking your draft position instead of like whatever order you were, and Jameson already had Josh Nelson be like, that's the fucking stupidest thing I've ever heard. And this was like 5 days before the draft.
Like we talked about this in like fucking May.
Here's a tip. Nobody fucking cares. We already voted on it. So if you think it's stupid, fine, but we already voted and it's over and nobody gives a fuck if you think it's stupid anymore. Bye-bye.
I do have a question. Can we go back to GroupMe?
No.
Okay.
No.
Asked and answered.
I actually have a couple of GroupMes still active. There's a Casey Yo Pros from the people that I guess you could say grew up with in Kansas City. And half the time it doesn't work. So we're not going back there.
Okay. We can stay on Discord. Honestly, probably best that we left Juice and some of the other laggards behind, some of the olds.
I would like to see him back, but yeah. No skin off my back. Speaking of, I just watched the movie Upgrade. You ever seen that movie Upgrade?
Can't say that I have.
All right. It was pretty good. I wouldn't buy it or anything, but it was pretty fun.
I don't understand your reference, and when people talk to me about things that I don't understand, I react violently. So,
did you watch Shogun?
No, what the fuck is that?
Fucking Jesus. Shogun is like a multi-Emmy award-winning show about when England and Japan first started getting together.
We shouldn't start saying the word Japan in a Japanese accent. That's
how he says it. The Anjin says Japan.
For us.
That's fair. It's a good show. You should watch it. Won billions of awards. A guy gets burned alive over the course of an entire season or an entire episode. I think it was on HBO or FX. Wait, let me look.
I'm not getting FX.
Shogun.
It's not on HBO because that's the one that I have, and I don't believe I've seen that yet. I did watch half of Kevin Costner's new Western movie.
How was that?
I watched half of it. I'll watch the other half someday.
Shogun is on FX.
Do you have FX streaming?
I use Plex, and I can get anything I want whenever I want because of somebody that Jameson knows.
Okay, we'll leave it at that so that you're not implicated in any sort of federal crime.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, if you could pick any two D-League members to debate each other on national television, call it ABC News. Who would those two individuals?
Jameson and Sully. Boom.
Yeah. Oh God. Why did I even ask?
Immediately.
Yeah. Why even ask?
Boom.
The people. We should have a podcast that is literally just that.
Yeah, I want them to. We would provide topics for them to debate, and they could just go after it. That'd be amazing.
You moderate. You can mute either of them. It would take one of them 7 minutes to literally just log off and be done.
Yeah, for sure. It would be Jameson, I think.
Or potentially the Des Moines draft crew and everybody else. That would be a fun one too.
Yeah. I do like for the longest time we'd be like no remote drafts, and then there's a picture. Hey, what's up, guys? And it's a picture of a remote draft in Des Moines. Like, all right, sick.
Cool.
Nothing else. This is a fantastic pod. Thank you for joining.
Hey, again, thank you so much for having me on your program. Big fan of your career.
Your program. Brush up on your Warhammer 40,000 lore. Buy Space Marine 2. I'll see you out on the fields of Terra.
Okay, sounds good. Corey Anderson, apologize.
Fuck you, Corey. You coward. Bye.
Bye.